What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for tuning in. This video has been a long awaited video since my last transformation video, and this is version 2 of the C32 AMG. So I will be going over everything that I've done since the first transformation to this transformation. And there's quite a lot that has been done. So you guys stay tuned. I'm gonna explain everything that I did and which companies I actually got these modifications put on the car. If you guys are interested, you guys can check out those companies. If you guys own the W203 and are tuning in, this is pretty much the same body style. Let's talk about the wheels. You guys have noticed that these wheels are the stock wheels. I decided to put these wheels back on just because I really love how these wheels look on the car after the car had been lowered. I threw them on just to see how they will look compared to the aftermarket wheels I had, and it looks 10 times better. These wheels are great once the car is lowered, especially when paired with cosmetic modifications like the front lip and the side skirts and the trunk spoiler. I actually enjoy the 17-inch wheels versus the 18-inch wheels on the W203. The 17s feel better than the 18s. I think what Mercedes had going on with the 17-inch wheels was perfect. So on top of that, I actually ended up putting a 10mm spacer on the front wheels, and if you check the fitment, that fitment is great. Doesn't poke out too much. And for the rear, I believe I have a 15mm as well, and this is how it looks. It's nice and flush as well. It's not poking out, it's just nice and aggressive. So pairing it up with the wheels, last transformation I was talking about what color to go with, and I think we were going either red or some sort of yellow. I actually thought about this color, which is Tiffany blue. I didn't get any responses from you guys, so I decided to go with Tiffany blue, and these are the Tiffany blues on the calipers. They look really great. I just wanted something a little bit more different. The next thing I want to talk about is the front lip. This front lip is actually from Carbon Creations. A lot of you guys have asked where I got the front lip from on Instagram. The only downside about this front lip is the fitment. Honestly, you would have to work a little bit to get this to fit perfectly on the bumper. A little bit of the work that I ended up doing was I used a heat gun. I needed to flex the bumper a little bit. Obviously the bumper fits perfectly on the front and on one side, but once you get to the other side, that is when you have to kind of use a heat gun and flex it a little bit so it can fit perfectly without any gaps. You can tell there's a little bit of some gap there, but it's not too much in person when you're actually looking at the car, unless you really look down there. That's what I ended up doing. And the next thing you would have to do is when you actually use tapping screws, the tapping screws actually would close up the gap pretty well. And in order to use the tapping screws on the edges here, you have to cut underneath the lip. The lip has like a lip underneath of it. Kind of hard to describe, but if you guys know the lip itself underneath, it has a lip. So you would have to cut in it in order to fit the screws closer to the bumper for the gap to disappear. And so that's the other modification you would have to do. So that is the process I had to go through to get this front lip to fit. Honestly, I highly wouldn't recommend this company just because of anyone that isn't hands-on. It would be kind of hard to get it to fit on unless you take it to a professional shop and they can install it for you. I'm hands-on, so I knew how to get this to work and how to fit it on the bumper. So that is the front lip, and it's really aggressive. It changed the look of the front end. Those are 3 things so far. The last thing I have on here, I don't think I'm missing anything, but this is definitely the last thing. Side skirts. This side skirt is a carbon fiber side skirt. Some of you might think it's universal, but this is actually carbon fiber. This side skirt I actually got from Souvenir Motorsports. They don't actually make them for the W203s. They make them for the E55s, the W211s. Now, what I ended up doing is this side skirt, since the W211 is a much longer chassis, I had to modify the side skirt by cutting the front here. And once I cut it off, it was like about this much. All I ended up doing was just put in 3M tape and then self-tapping screws. So that is the side skirt from Souvenir Motorsports. If you guys want to go that route, you can go ahead and buy a side skirt and cut it up yourself and then slap it on there. I think it looks great. That's the only way to really get side skirts for the W203. Wow, this car is beautiful and it drives amazing. Honestly, I haven't been driving it that much. I've been driving the E55 a lot, but getting in this car, man, it is so smooth, nimble. It's very, very light, I gotta say. Really light. But speaking of driving and how it feels, honestly, I think I'm gonna hop in here, drive a little bit. It's been a while since we've done a POV. My phone overheated. I'm not sure how much of that clip was cut off before I noticed. I did say in that clip we are gonna hop in the car and just go for a quick drive with you guys. It is on right now, and I want to give you a few revs how the car sounds like. I did fail to mention also, which isn't really cosmetic mod, but it's a performance mod. There's long tube headers on here. The resonator has been deleted and replaced with the Dynamax raised bullet muffler, and it's going to the stock muffler. So I have headers with 200 cell high flow cats all the way to the Dyno raised bullet mini muffler to the actual muffler, stock muffler in the car. And I'll give you a few revs here. Let's go. Hopefully I can get some force induction noise here for you guys. Nothing crazy, but hopefully you guys, the camera is picking it up. Gotta really pay attention to how it's driving. You gotta make sure you don't lose control just because of how light it is and how much power it's making. So really nice to have something really nimble and quick. I'm gonna hop on the highway for you guys, do some highway driving. Sounds so good. To make that whine louder is to put an 82mm throttle body on it. Intake I would probably just keep stock, just because these superchargers on these cars, Mercedes didn't build them to hear the force induction noises, but with the 82mm you can definitely get it at that sound. back on. So do I consider you guys doing these same modifications? Yes, definitely. I highly recommend, especially if you really want your W203 to look really great or stand out from the other W203s. You know, the exterior modifications on these cars, they go really great, really well, especially when you get that front lip. Just putting on the front lip though, side skirts would be perfect just to tie it all in together. But aside from that, you know, the front lip, side skirts, trunk spoiler, fantastic. Stock wheels, again, yeah, I would still rock those. But you can go aftermarket. There are great wheels out there. That's if you guys are like me and can't do, you know, stock wheels. But for this car, yes, stock wheels work. I never thought, you know, I would be rocking stock wheels on my cars, but yes, I am on this car. Also, if you guys are wondering in terms of like drone, there is no drone with the long tube headers, high flow cats, resonator deleted with the muffler. I would say you would probably get drone once you take off that muffler. Man, I love how this car moves. Honestly, hopping in this and the E55, I have to adjust just because of how light this is and how easy it is to steer versus the E55. It's pretty heavy, and the steering, you have to give it some effort. In terms of like interior modifications, honestly, there's nothing really I can think of except to get a CarPlay on this thing. And I don't know, if there's a company out there that wants to reach out, sponsor, help me out with the Apple CarPlay, that would be great. Because the E55 has the Apple CarPlay, and fantastic, and it's awesome just to use. This car, I always have to pull out my phone just to, you know, use GPS or music. Apple CarPlay for sure. Other than that, I mean, the interior is it's the W203, not much really that is great on here.